Hi, everyone. Steve Wasik, VP of Talent Strategy, and the Michigan Wolverines won the 2023 National Championship fair and square.
Okay. Katie Hillary. Chicago has the best restaurants in the globe.
Let's go.
Yeah. Knew I'd get you on that one.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bert Bean. I'm the CEO of Insight Global. Welcome to Chat the Chief.
Welcome to Chat the Chief. Today, we are going to dance on the topic of always know where you stand. This is some Insight Global nomenclature. So we probably need to start off by defining what always know where you stand means. Because you're the author of it, I feel like you should do the honors of really describing what we mean when we say always know where you stand. What is it?
It's a big one.
I might have been the one that wrote down always know where you stand, but Emma Garber was the one that pushed for it so hard at our first Compass, just to give her a shout out. If I didn't, Emma would probably, I don't know, she'd fly down here and stab me, probably. You just got an M. Sorry, the question again?
What does always know where you stand mean?
Yeah, so it was really this idea that, okay, if you're not ever, it means a lot, but it was born from this idea that if you're ever struggling at work or if you're struggling in a relationship and you know you're not sort of doing that well, but if maybe your partner or your boss isn't like kind of letting you know where you're deficient, or letting you know where you stand, it's an isolating place to be. I mean, it's an anxious place to be. You feel unsettled, you feel insecure. Your job could be at risk, your marriage could be at risk, let's say. And so we had this idea that at our company, our people always know where they stand. However, we do think it's on the person to take the initiative to find out, hey, where do I stand? Am I doing well? Am I not doing well? Here's how I think here's where I think I stand. Is that right? Is that in alignment with you? So yeah, that's what it means.
Yep. Steve, would you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just this shared value originated at our first ever Compass. And Emma did a really good job of listening to the question, what's been the lowest moment of your career? Many people's lowest moment was moments when they didn't know where they stood. And I've now seen that play out time and time again. If we know the truth, if we're given direct feedback, if we know where we are, we can get over that. And there's trust in that. It's when I don't know where I stand that trust will break. And it's really common that as people go through their hardest moments at work, they go through lows, it's because there wasn't good communication, there wasn't trust, and they didn't know where they stood in the larger picture.
Yeah, I think it's, specifically like the word feedback, especially in the work setting, it's like the commitment to giving feedback, the commitment to seeking out feedback for yourself so that you do always know where you stand. I like that you specifically called out the onus is on the person, so you can't play victim of, okay, I don't know where I stand. No, it's on you. It is your responsibility.
It's your career. It's your life. You got to take charge of it.
Yes. I know that you talked about the inspiration in the moment of always know where you stand was born out of people sharing, okay, the lows, the deepest, darkest points in so many people's careers were, unfortunately, when they really were in uncertainty and they didn't know how they were viewed through the eyes of their boss, or they didn't know how they were viewed through the eyes of the company. But was there any other inspiration in where this was born from? Do you have any more of an origin story for this outside of Compass?
I think it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's tough. As we met, we wrote these shared values out and we liked them, and myself and the leadership team, we just read the book The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle, and we loved it.
Good.
Yeah, it's great.
I forgot about that one.
It's great, and we loved it so much that we asked Daniel to speak at our conference, because it was going to be the same conference. We were introducing our shared values, and it was right at the verge of this cultural transformation we were trying to do with the company, and we thought it'd be great to have him come and speak at it, and he did. But me and Eli Doster were meeting with him, and we said, hey, here's these 5 things we're going to call them our shared values, and we went through each one of them. And he got to the last one, and he said, that one's a big check to write. That's really hard. Are you sure you want to do that? And that's when I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that. Because if he thinks we sort of shouldn't or be careful there, it tells me that this is right. And I wanted something, we take care of each other and everyone matters. Leadership is here to serve. Those are really nice and they're important, but taken in the wrong context, they can be feel soft, and they can feel like, do these, are these things, are they that real? This is a real one. This is a really hard one that you're going to have to struggle with and wrestle with, and we'd like the challenge of that, putting it right in our values.
And how do you do that? How have you seen the best leaders, I guess, fulfill that commitment of allowing their employees to always know where they stand when they do actually seek that out?
Yeah, well, first, you have to systematically put it into your business through, quarterly reviews, year interviews, all that. You have to teach on it, train on it, hire through it, all that sort of thing. But really, it is a mindset, right? It's a mindset shift that you have to embody, and it starts at the top. It starts with your leader, being quick to, if they notice that, okay, Steve isn't doing so well, he's doing something that's like pulling him off, that's going to hurt his career. I've got to it's awkward, it's scary, I don't want to do it, but I got to wade into that, and I've got to let him know it. It's your job to also be self-aware enough to know, if I'm not doing, I think here's the thing. Sometimes I think we do our job and we think we're doing just fine, and we're that out of it that we may think, oh, we're cool. But I think most of the time we know when we're not performing well. Mm-hmm. Only you know, are you giving 100% of yourself today, or are you giving 80% of yourself today? And nobody is 100% all the time perfect, but only you knows, are you getting better, or are you getting worse consistently? Mm-hmm. And so, it's on you to if you feel like, oh, man, I'm not getting the results I want, a meeting didn't go how I wanted to, it's on you to say, I need to check in. Yes. I need to get a pulse check from my boss. And that's really hard to do. But if we can have a attitude and a mentality throughout the company of everybody, giving feedback when they see it, no matter how uncomfortable, or seeking it, asking for it, no matter how uncomfortable, then I think that's how you get there.
Yeah, I think always know where you stand, and giving feedback certainly is so imperative when a person's not performing, or when they're feeling down, and when they're feeling dark, and there is that moment of uncertainty. And we should talk about that a lot, and I don't mean to breeze over it. But I also think it's such an incredible tool to accelerate the good things. I love and relish the moments where you can take something that maybe someone's fine at. It's not a confrontation that they're bad. Maybe they're just okay and they're average at it. And if they were to just continue to sit and work on that skill in a vacuum on their own, where in any other culture where there's not an expectation to give feedback and to tell someone how they could improve, maybe perfecting that skill would take 2 years, let's say. But if you have this expectation, this obligation of sharing with somebody, hey, always know where you stand, that was kind of awkward. I think you could actually do it better. That was mediocre. If you want to excel, here's how you can do it. Let me practice, let me show you. You should know where you stand with this. You are average. I want you to be better. You all of a sudden accelerate that, and something that would take you 2 years, you actually can do in a month. It's incredible if you lock in and you really, really just make that commitment with one another. So I love it for not only addressing the things that are dark and sad, but also that are amazing, and pouring into the things that are good, and really motivating people to do more of what they're good at.
100%. Yeah, what that requires is, because this is the hardest one, always know where you stand is challenging, but it requires you to be in it with your people. This doesn't work when you have a transactional relationship.
Meaning the leader has to be in it with
That's right.
their team.
And you have to care.
Yeah.
So you have to go from thinking about people as widgets that create outputs of work, to knowing that you can grow people, and then it's all about getting in it and caring.
Yeah.
And what I've found that's fascinating, Katie, to your point, is people are not good at giving people feedback. It's uncomfortable, and I got to be like, hey, Katie, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
And then it's people are equally not good at giving praise. And what you just described is so critical. And this is the 7 habits of highly effective people, but relationships are like bank accounts. And pouring into people with what they are doing well is always know where you stand. And we forget that. And it is super valuable. And oftentimes that's actually how I'm going to be able to effectively let you know where you stand when I need to.
Yep. Yeah. Do you think, are there things that are too big or too small to apply this value to?
By big or small, I think what you mean is how nitpicky you would get with feedback. To me, I think it's about, and this is leadership 101, but it's how can I learn where this person wants to go, and then be with them and be present with them to give them the feedback that they need in order to help them grow and develop.
Yeah, I'll also say, no, it's not. There's nothing too small.
Right.
But it's sort of all in delivery, right?
That's
it's all
it.
in delivery.
Yeah.
It's all in tone, right? You can nitpick somebody to death, and they're going to hate your guts.
Right.
But you can also say, hey, I wasn't going to say this, but man, you're so great in these meetings, but something you do, you probably don't even realize it. And it's always, I don't know, it feels weird is you say this one thing, or you keep using this word as a filler word. Do you know that you say, yeah, right, like 100 times?
On.
I mean,
Hold on. Hold on.
I got a snort from Katie.
You did this to me.
Great.
Of course.
No, very specifically, you did this to me. No exaggeration. 15 years ago. Okay.
Not that you remember.
But it was so good. Okay, specifically with the filler word. And this is a critical correction, because my filler word 15 years ago in Dallas as a recruiter was the word perfect.
Okay.
It seems innocent enough. Perfect. Unless in the conversation, let me share it with you. So, hello, speaking with a candidate. All right, wonderful. So, tell me, what was your last position? Oh, okay, you were a systems admin at Dell. And all right, that position ended 4 months ago. And what was the reason for that job ending? You were laid off? Perfect. No, not perfect. You can't provide for your family for 4 months? Perfect. Nope, not perfect, not great. So phenomenal that you rolled your chair over and let me know, hey, Katie, great. Good job talking to that candidate, but you should know that you said perfect 8 times in that conversation, one of which was in response to them being unemployed for 4 months.
Not perfect.
Not perfect.
Not
Not perfect. But yeah, it's just simply creating awareness around the things that could be improved. And
I think the more you have, like, I actually think the corporate environment, overly corporate, overly structured approach, while quarterly reviews are so important, they let you know where you stand. That by itself is so destructive. It's bad because it's like, okay, I'm not going to give you any of this feedback until it's time for the review. You wait. I don't want to have to do that. And then it's like this heavy thing. Whereas if it can be just this like steady drumbeat of less feedback, more coaching. What I really gave you was just coaching.
Yep.
Right.
But in a sense, that's where you knew where you stood. It makes you better. And then whenever we have to have a bigger conversation or a harder one, it's way easier because there's this like relationship of trust that's been built over time that, oh, I know you want my best interests at heart. You're like praising me on the things that I'm doing well, even these little small things. And then also you're letting me know where I can be better.
Katie, that's why you asked the small versus the big.
Yeah.
Because that's the key. Like what you see happen all the time is that there's not feedback exchanged, but there's stuff that's happening, and we're not talking about it because we're afraid to do that. And then there's just this gap that grows, you know, until it becomes a divide, until we're not a good partnership. We're not effective. Actually, when I was a leader, there was a person on my team, and all leaders kind of go through this from time to time. There was a person on my team that I was slowly starting to hate, if I'm honest. And I was like, she doesn't work hard, she doesn't care, she doesn't want to do it, right? And so I don't know what got my mind there, but I was like, you know what? Let me go spend some time with her, and let me today try to like her. Let me find what I like about her. Like that's going to be my starting point. Went on a road day, and I had the right mentality. The stuff was happening still. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I just kept leaning in, trying to like her. I found it. I found the thing that I liked about her. And then that was my anchor. That was my foundation then to be like, okay, I now see it. Now I can create a vision of how you can be successful. Okay, great. Now I can go and talk to you in a way, right tone, where I can feel comfortable giving you the feedback. Because I actually am giving you things that I think can become real.
It's like
right?
elite level leadership.
You just try and like, and then because I remember that day, like she knew.
Yes.
And then like my energy changed. Because when you don't like someone, by the way,
They know.
They know you don't like them.
For sure.
That's not like a secret.
Yes.
They see you're jovial and you're interacting with all these other people, and then it's like, what's up?
It's like, hey. But so that day, I remember like liking her and then being able to land it. By the way, this was transformative moment for this person's career because I was able to say the thing, and then like we're off and running.
Yep. I think that's powerful. What about outside of work, like bringing that at home? Have you all seen that applied in your personal relationships?
My wife's from New Jersey, so we don't really have a problem with always know where you stand in our household. It's very clear where you stand at all times. But I'm a sweet Midwesterner, and so maybe I struggle a little bit more. But I think what you're getting at, though, Katie, is huge. It's like a way of life. Actually, I think I use always know you stand more outside of work in a praise type way, like letting the people that like mean a lot to you know that they mean a lot to you, or like taking advantage of that same style of communication you use to praise in the corporate setting to like let people know like that they mean a lot to you. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's where you wanted that to go. But.
No, I like really when I think about it, because and really mulling over what I wanted to discuss in this topic, I of course reflect on the questions myself a little bit as well. And I actually don't even think about it as a barrier of like, here's how I talk about always know where you stand at work with my employees and with my peers and with my boss. Yeah. And then here's how I apply it with my husband and my children and my mom and like, it's just almost like a way that you it's a communication style, and opening up and just leaning in and being more communicative in general. I think that really in the past, it's interesting. I love when things at work positively influence the way that I live my life outside of work, and inversely, like when things happen to me at home, like when I became a parent, I think I became a better leader. So just the flow. But I used to be a person who would sweep things under the rug, not address little things. You can ask my husband about this, like. Nope, that wasn't a big deal. I'm not gonna address it. Maybe it was born out of us having a long distance relationship, so we wouldn't see each other for a long time. So when I did see him, I wouldn't want to pick a fight because we had such valuable little time together. And so then that became a characteristic of our relationship. And he finally called me out on it. He's like, "You gotta say, just let me know if this is bothering you," because all of a sudden the littlest thing would make me.
That's exactly how that goes.
Would make me blow up, and that sucks. That sucks for a partner. So this communication style and just this way of being has been so beneficial for my relationships across the board, and with my parents, and just with everyone. So I love it. I've adopted it just in all of my relationships.
You just shout out for all the husbands and wives. I do think. Men are a little slower on the uptick there, so please let us know. I mean, it's okay. We'll just let us know. We'll avoid that next time. It's all good.
Oh my gosh. No, John's actually better than I am. So. But what about you?
Similar to Steve. I mean, I love using the praise aspect as much as I can, especially with my kids and with my wife. Maybe this is a controversial. I've actually, when I'm involved in any kind of like, let's say group outside of work in my community, in my church, our kids' school, or conversation with a principal at our kids' school, like we had maybe last fall, I find that I've got so many reps of the always know where you stand conversation. I can pull that tool out whenever I need to. and we had a really direct conversation with our kid's principal. Whenever we got this new principal, I let him know where I thought that the school stood and he needed to stand. And it was the sort of CEO voice came out, and we left there, and I was like, did I overstep there? She said, nope, but I bet he has never been talked to like that. So I think it can make you great in like all aspects of your life. Yeah.
But I bet he will be better because of that.
Yeah, I don't think I was inappropriate, but I was
direct.
I was using my CEO voice.
Okay, well, on the note of your CEO voice, when you were thinking about this year and 2025 and establishing, okay, what are the priorities for 2025 going to be? This has been one of our shared values for years, but this year in particular, you decided to pluck always know where you stand out of the shared values shelf. Not that it's sitting on a shelf, it's very much alive, but you decided to say, okay, I'm going to make this on the front and center stage of 2025, and we are going to prioritize it. This year. Why is that? Why was that important this year of all things?
So it's a battle. We are in a battle right now in our industry. Industry has gone backwards the last 3 years. We were flat 2 years ago. We grew 9% last year when the industry went backwards 8%. It's looking like we're going to grow 10% this year when our industry is going to go backwards yet again. So if we want to remain a special company, we've got to do special things, which means, working really hard, executing at a high level, and like any little thing that we're doing wrong, we got to be okay calling each other out, letting each other know where they stand. We've got to do the really hard work in all aspects. There's a lot less room for error in years like this. In our industry, especially if you're running a services company where companies are scaling back on what they're spending on services, we've got to be great. And so that means that we can't be afraid to have tough conversations with each other.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have any thoughts on why it's especially important this year?
I'll just tell you from experience, like when I'm living, I've been good at this in my career. I've been bad at it. When I'm really good at always know where you stand, I'm accelerating teams, I'm growing. When I'm bad at always know where you stand, my teams are struggling.
What do you think that is?
Simple.
Like, is it when you notice, I don't know if you've thought about this or reflected on it, but when you are bad versus good, is it a reflection of the relationships that you have with the people, or?
Yeah, I think to me, it's like one of those very critical things that if this is good, a lot of other things are good too. Mm-hmm. It's a force multiplier.
I think about it like this too. It's if I'm leading a team, if I've got to grow in some way, if that's the objective, I need the most I can get out of myself and that team. We have to be great. And that means I can't have any wasted energy, wasted action. That didn't go well. That could have been better. I can't have that. And so I need to be praising you like crazy on the things that you're doing well, so you keep doing those things. And I need to be kind of nitpicky on the things that you're not if I need to grow. And so it is that simple. Always know where you stand is simply coaching. It's how we are so good in all aspects of what we do. And the thing is that it's crazy. I think that's a little uncommon in the business world. I think it's people don't really talk like that. And so that's why you get really low performance in a lot of the business world, and you get low productivity. Everybody's looking for AI to come do their job for them because we're so bad at talking to each other that let's just have the robot do it, right? And so I think that's what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like if a team is struggling for performance, it's very commonly they're not having honest, hard conversations. If they're not having hard, honest conversations, they probably haven't built the right relationships. If they haven't built their relationships, they haven't driven the alignment of what they're doing and why it matters and shared their value. So it's a force multiplier. It's one of those things that if you're doing it right, a lot of other things have gone well. So I think it's the perfect thing for us to be focused on this year.
When you were building Compass Culture Consulting, how much of this concept have you woven into that model?
It's probably the first thing you see that's deficient.
I'll reverse Uno that on you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Bert's right. If I go into an organization, I can ask one question to very quickly figure out if they have a more constructive, better culture, more adaptable culture, or a lower order culture. And it's results. How clear are the results you need to achieve?
Whoa. Yeah.
How clear are the results you need to achieve? If it's clear,
then
it's very common that I'll start to walk in. People have built relationships. Oh,
Yep.
Then they know where they stand.
They know where they stand.
Their results.
If the results are not clear, what happens? Then we're relying on leaders to be good at always know where you stand because it's subjective. So if ever results are not clear, now even if I gave you always know where you stand, Katie, but it's totally subjective, not connected to a scoreboard or anything, it's like, well, you don't like me. Right? And then I see what happens is all these bad behaviors start growing like weeds. It's like, ooh, we don't talk because we're afraid. We have toxic, instead of talking to Katie, I go and talk to Bert about Katie. So that's the thing. It's, are the results of the organization made clear? That's good.
That's so clear. That's so
but
good.
better, are individual results clear? So that's scary. Well, no, we don't want to do that. That's scary. But the best cultures I've been around, individual results are clear, and there's this fluency that leaders develop of speaking to people about what to do and what not to do to achieve results. And most often, it's not let me know, let you know where you stand.
Yep.
No, it's like coaching all the time. It's this effortless, hey, Katie, left, a little left. Oh no, right, Katie, right. And it's comfortable
Katie,
because
that was perfect.
Katie, perfect, nicely done. but this is another really critical thing. If an organization doesn't have an important vision of what we're going to do together, or if an organization is bad at creating a vision of what employees can do there, always know where you stand is really hard. Because like, why should I?
Yeah.
Right.
What is the standard
And who
we're all aiming at?
cares?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just doing my job.
And
But
what do I stand against?
Vision and
That.
like where we're going enable always know where you stand. Because now people care.
Yep.
Like, our purpose is on the nose. I mean, our purpose is to grow our people personally, professionally, financially, so they can be the light to the world around us. But it's that enables me to go, hey, Katie, you're off track.
Yep.
Come with me. Because no, I care about you. I care about this mission. Let's go. So, but if we sterilize the workplace to the quarterly review, and it's like, well, hey, Bert, exceeds expectation. Like, you know, now like
Just
the
a
whole
comfortable
thing
met.
is just this sham, like, right?
Yes. So much of this, we talk about the leader and the leader being able to effectively communicate, build the
Yeah.
relationships, create the safety, having the productive conversations, the coaching. But Bert, you're the top diggity dog. You're the CEO. We're chatting the chief himself. So how does El Jefe know where he stands?
That's great.
That's the fastest. I've never. It just blew my mind.
Yeah. Well,
For
it's,
real.
it's way easier than you think. I know where I stand every Thursday when I get our financial report from the previous week.
Just boom.
It's like, here's where you should have been. Here's where you are.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the budget. Here's where you are. Here's versus last year. We have a call with the board every month. They let me know where I stand again there. We have a quarterly board meeting. I know where I stand there. I mean, I'm always. I know exactly where I'm at and where I should be according to the budget. Now, you could say, well, that's all financials and stuff, but like, what about like the other stuff? Yeah, I mean, Sam is not afraid to give me feedback, as you know. It's funny. I get feedback from my team. I don't get a lot of feedback from like the middle layer, let's say, of management. Tons of feedback from new recruiters. Tons. I mean, they tons. They're just
So
like,
it just goes
no problem.
hot, cold, hot.
Yeah, no problem letting me know. Like, what about this? I don't like that. It's like really funny. It's like my sister. She didn't care I'm a CEO. She's like, what about this, Bert? So yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, like for me, and that's what's sort of cool. Like, there's lots of what's really cool about my job is that it strips away all the BS. It's like, well, yeah, dude, but did you hit your target? Like, did you grow like you were supposed to? Because, you know, there's like, let's see, the enterprise value of our company is like $6.5 billion. You know, and your shareholders are going to want that in the next 5 years to go to something like $10 or $12 billion. So that's it. Do that. If you don't do that, then like we got problems. And so it just really gets things really simple. That's where we have to go.
Bert, I think that there's something else that lets you know where you stand, and it's the feel of your teams.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like, I think that's you tell me, but I feel like there's meetings where I'll watch you, and the team won't be there. They'll be somewhere else, and I feel like that is a moment where you're like, there's a lot of pressure in that because maybe the team they're not figuring it out quick enough. They're focused on the wrong things. They're not communicating well. Like, is that a form of always?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you can. I've got a different seat. Like, I see things with fresher eyes because I'm not in everything to the level that other people are. So I can see stuff that sticks out. I can see people not grasping something. I can see when we're struggling to. I don't know. Like I guess as like the orchestrator, let's say, I've got to be sort of over all of it. And I've got to see the entire picture more than anybody else. And so, yeah, it allows you to see things that are sort of sticking out like a sore thumb more than others. And so that's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to fix that. I'm accountable to that. So
Right.
I need to zoom in and figure that out. Yeah.
We've talked a little bit about giving feedback and the importance of that, but I also think on the flip side of the coin, it's important to receive it. Like you talked about, you're receiving feedback from the board, and you just have to take it. So that's what it is. But in terms of receiving feedback, what advice do you all have for putting yourself in a position where people, I mean, it is difficult to give. how do you receive it in a way that encourages people to want to approach you and want to give you?
You got to bury your pride. You got to bury your pride, bury your ego. Can't be defensive. It is so hard to give somebody feedback.
Right.
I mean, for all of us, we're like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I don't know how you're going to react. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to work up the courage and write it all out and think about it and lose sleep over it. And I'm finally going to tell you, if that person is very defensive or reacts negatively, you're never going to tell them again.
Right.
You're like, that's it. And not only that, you kind of hate them now. And so
100%.
It's very destructive. So if you've got to like realize, oh, I'm getting feedback right now. I'm getting hit. I got to like bury the ego, and I got to just take it and let it wash over me. And also Sam Kaufman's very good at this. You got to like disassociate yourself. It's not like you, the person, is terrible, right? Like you, and even if there are some personal characteristics there that's causing this, you got to just know, like, oh, no big deal. I can just shed that and I can go forward. That's it. Like, we as people, like I say all the time, like if somebody is struggling and not doing well, like we want them to be great. Like nobody ever wants anybody just to fail. And so we are so quick to forgive and so quick to cheer somebody on. And so if I can give somebody, if you're not doing well, here are these things that you're really struggling on. If you own it and are like, oh my gosh, you're right. Thank you. Will you help me fix this? I want to get better here. We are like, let's go.
Yep.
But if you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I disagree. Or here's all these defensive reasons why I think that's wrong. Whoa, now we're screwed. Now I don't know how to help you. Now this is bad. You're going to stay exactly where you are. You're not going to grow, and we got a problem.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
that is it. That is it. The best feedback that is given and received is we leave the person whole. You, Katie, you're whole. But I want to go into this behavior, right? And then there's a way that you can do this as it relates to giving feedback, where you keep Katie whole, but you can target in on that behavior. And sometimes it's just like showing it to you. So my secret to getting feedback is I try to remember that. And by the way, not everybody's really good at this. It's uncomfortable. It's weird. You got to give the person grace. And in an ideal world, like, this is awesome. Like a blind spot. Oh, something I didn't know. This is great. Like, lean into it and listen and just put that. I'm not being attacked. This is not about Steve's a bad person. This is about something that I'm coming to work with positive intent. I was trying to get the result, but something I was doing wasn't on the, and so, like, let's hear it so I can grow.
I think you said positive intent. I think it's important to say you have to assume positive intent when you're receiving the feedback as well. Assume that the person delivering it to you is coming from a place of good intentions, wanting you to improve. We used to have the confrontation model. Remember the confrontation model? And the concept was, before Always Know Where You Stand, this was like version 1 of that, where you would confront someone, tell them what was wrong, and the concept was, once you received that, you sat on it for 24 hours, and then you came back and spoke with them. And while that wasn't the perfect model, I did like that if you did feel defensive and if you didn't agree with it, it did give you a minute to sit with it before you reacted adversely or said something that perhaps you didn't want to be remembered by. And so I think that's maybe advice too, is if you aren't quite there yet, or maybe you don't agree with that feedback, and if you aren't ready to say thank you so much, I can't wait to change, maybe just sit in it for a night. Sleep on it and see if you can get there.
I think it's a great point. People don't need to feel this urge to respond. Also, like, it's okay to be like, wow, let me think about that. Thanks for sharing that with me. Boy, I got to process this. It's important to have some words that you can anchor in on. That give yourself some time. But what I would also say is, for those people that were like, go away, think about it. Because sometimes you go away, you build up a case where that person's wrong, and I'm going to come back and tell you. Like, again, like, that is not going to serve you, especially if I'm like your boss, because it's like, okay, well, hey, man, my perception is like you're failing. So you have to convince me you're not, because like we have to do something. Like, we got to move forward together. And people can you mentioned the word surrender on our last podcast. It is such a powerful word. You can just surrender that defensiveness and move forward. Nobody that's ever been confronted and had to take some tough feedback on where they stood that has surrendered it and said, gosh, you know what? you're right. Thank you. I need to work on that. There's never been a response that's like, I knew you were a loser.
Now you're fired.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Loser.
Toast.
It doesn't happen. It just, I don't think, it doesn't happen. And so
No.
people are like,
But what does happen is people
are like,
reject the feedback.
oh yeah,
Ego.
they reject it. And then when they reject it, people don't come out and say, you're a loser, you're fired. What they just silently resent you, and they're like, okay, we're sort of done. And in the worst case scenario, they start looking for your backfill.
What are the top 3 tips for people approaching an always know where you stand conversation?
So I would say be prepared. Write it out. This is so I'm going to give somebody some time. And let's say we're beyond coaching. This is like a kind of a more serious conversation. Write it out. So on the one hand, I like acting, and I like almost the mindset of like, hey man, blurt it out, like get to it. And that's helpful so that you can be action oriented and have urgency to like not sit on something, but take the time to write it out and really try to cook it down to the essence of what you want this person to do. So okay, you're probably going to confront them. You're probably going to let them know where they stand. With some tough feedback maybe, but be really clear on what is the essence of the thing you need them to do or change or be better at. Because that's where people like really can get frustrated. Is like, hey man, you just sort of gave me some tough feedback, but I don't exactly know what to do to change that.
Right.
Make sure you tell them. Yeah.
The thing that has helped me, 2 things at the beginning and sort of at the end. I always like to make sure I'm bringing the right emotion to the meeting, because our emotions project.
That's such a good point.
And I'm really trying to be like calm, because if I'm calm, the person will be calm. I'm more likely to get the malleable, okay, I'm open to that feedback. If I come in hot, they're going to be defensive. Now I'm much more likely to get the person who's like, no, that, right? So I'm trying to like center myself, project the right emotion. Something I like to say a lot is, this is going to be a really good conversation. Like, because that makes me feel comfortable.
Such a good tone.
It makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then this is going to be a really good conversation. I'm going to be really honest. And I'm going to like shoot myself up with some truth serum though, because I think there's some stuff you need to hear that's going to help you grow. Now I'm like
terrified.
Now I'm like,
so good.
I can say whatever I want to say.
Sure.
Now I can say I just got permission. And then I can just go truth serum.
Yes.
Because I got permission to. And by the way, this is like gold. This is going to be a great conversation. I need to like shoot myself up with truth serum though, because I think there's some things that I could really say to you that will help you grow. Is that okay? Is this a good time? And then the person's like, yeah. Now I have permission. And then you're like, okay, well, here's what it is, Katie. And then my favorite thing on the back half of this is, to Bert's point, you have to be very clear and then play it forward. Like, hey, Katie, here's why I'm concerned. If this happened, okay. If it were to keep happening, talk to me about that. Like, if this were to keep happening, that feels like that would be bad, right? Yeah, that would be, okay. Like, and then it like
playing the tape forward. It becomes so huge.
Playing it forward, it becomes obvious.
And then playing the tape forward when it's
almost like a Saved by the Bell episode.
Yeah.
Like Zach like runs out of the principal's office. He's like, yes, I got it. I'm good. Right? Like no one will understand that reference. But
deep cuts. Zach
deep
Morris.
cuts.
I mean,
but
Jeopardy.
Also, yes. But play it forward. Play it forward, and then oftentimes it helps people make the decision. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yep.
Because it's not where I don't want to go there either.
Yep.
Right.
That's beautiful. Great advice. Love the truth serum. Love setting the tone. Well, gentlemen, it comes to that time where the people
always know where you stand.
Always know where you stand. Comes to the moment where the people get to slide into Albert Bean's DMs and ask him questions that are on their mind.
Let's chat the chief.
Let's chat the chief, shall we?
Let's do it.
What do we got?
All right. River wants to know. Bert. Oh, on this note specifically. Have you gotten feedback from anyone recently? And how did it go?
Feedback from people recently. Yes.
Who was it?
It was a...
Drop names.
I can't drop names. It was an R1 that shared feedback they didn't like about the RTO policy on Monday. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
spicy.
So I don't know if that's
Spicy.
Yeah, I guess that's feedback.
No, I
yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, like that.
So it's a thank you.
Yep.
It's still happening. But
Yep.
Yeah.
That needs to be a future episode. Okay. This is a really good question.
Okay.
It's 2025, challenging year ahead, potentially. Lots going on in the world. What is one book that you wish everyone would read that would help them navigate the world that we're living in?
Whoa. Okay, I want to get this right. This really okay. So it's 2020. Say the phrase is this year.
This year?
This year.
Yeah, it's a change. Like, times are changing. There's a lot happening. People are feeling overwhelmed by, I think, the complexity of the world. What's a book that if everyone read, we'd just be more prepared for it?
Gosh. I like let me look at my books real fast. I really like I'll give you one that's maybe like an obvious one. Obvious CEO one. I really like The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. It's probably the only book I like. I used to like his stuff a lot more, but I really like The Infinite Game. I mean, The Infinite Game is it's all about how do you stay in the game, right? How do you just in our case keep from going out of business, right? How do you make the moves that you got to make to continue to stay in the game, and you don't worry about these like short-term wins, if you will. How do you build your company to last over the long term?
So good.
The second one I would recommend, because it's sort of just a really fun read and a really educational read, is called Crazy Horse. And it's on the story of Crazy Horse, who's the famous Lakota warrior chief, which is, I love history, so I mean that's what I mainly read is history. And I just, he was like the last real, like, I mean, hardcore dude of that era that tried to keep his people together before this sort of inevitability of just the expansion westward, and the U.S. Army just kind of eventually put all of his people onto reservations. But that was a guy, that was a leader he really knew all the details. He wasn't afraid to go first. He wasn't afraid to lead first. He was completely fearless. He was quite the warrior. So, it's a really good education on who Crazy Horse was. We probably all are familiar with the name, but don't know the story. So everybody needs to know that. Everybody should know what happened to. Were Native Americans like? I've always heard the story. Like, man, gosh, it feels like we weren't all that good to them. But you're gonna hear some stuff that you can't unhear. That's like kind of crazy. So it's just good to be educated in that way. And yeah, it teaches you a little bit about this country. So
Love it.
That's it.
It's amazing.
Great answer. To bring it home, what is the biggest misconception about you?
Biggest misconception about me.
What do people think
Jeez.
that isn't true?
They're not veneers. They're not veneers. Those are real.
They're not what?
They're not veneers.
They're not veneers. Yeah, I've got real teeth.
Those are real.
Wait,
I don't.
did you know that was a rumor?
Yeah.
That's out there.
That I think Bretlin and I started.
That's real teeth. So I've got real teeth. I don't know. What are I mean, I don't really know what people's what do you know what people's misconceptions are out there about me? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't wear a toupee. That's pretty obvious. Maybe a big one is, and I've said this before, but my identity is, I don't see my identity as that of a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good one.
If this job were to be taken from me tomorrow, I'd be okay. I don't want it to be. I want to be the best CEO in the world. I want to find whoever that best CEO is, and I want to beat him up and then put as much space between me and them as I can. But all that said, if this job were taken from me tomorrow, that's just fine. And I think having that, like, it's not part of your identity gives you a certain level of objectivity that allows you to work on your work as opposed to be just totally immersed in it. That makes you better.
That's
so
actually
cool.
a good
That's
tie
amazing.
back to what we were speaking about with Always Know Where You Stand.
Yeah, exactly.
So, good tie.
Stuck
Good
the
note to
landing.
end on. Thanks so much, guys.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
See you next time. Thanks, guys.
Chat your questions to chatthechief@insightglobal.com if you've got some burning questions for Bert himself. Talk to you soon.